episode of Fermented Adventure is brought to you by Fermented Adventure. Dawn, we have a new shirt design.
We sure do.
Dawn, what's our new shirt design?
I have mixed drinks about feelings.
Now, I have mixed drinks about feelings. How do people find I have mixed drinks about feelings?
They go on our website at fermentedadventure.com. They can click on the apparel tab, and it'll take them right to our merchandise.
So click on the apparel tab. They'll find our brand new shirt design, and they'll find other shirt designs as well?
Other shirt designs as well. We have tanks, tees, hoodies, glasses, a bunch of different things.
And we can still find tequila or cerveza made me do it as well, right?
You can find that there as well.
And if you want to be fashionable through the rest of the summer, we also have some podcast shirts for people to wear and enjoy, going around and saying, hey, you listen to the Fermented Adventure podcast too?
Yes, and don't forget our May Contain Whiskey shirt too.
So go to fermentedadventure.com, click on the apparel tab, buy the merchandise. Cheers! Hello, ladies and gentlemen, craft spirit enthusiasts, and those interested in the intoxicating world of craft distilleries, cideries, meaderies, wineries, and the occasional foray into breweries. It's Rich Shane, and welcome to Fermented Adventure, the podcast, where we bring you the fascinating people that are making the mash, fermenting, distilling, bottling, pouring, and delivering to you some of the finest libations in the world. Before we get started, here are a few housekeeping items. Thank you for bringing the podcast into wherever you are and whatever you're doing. We truly are grateful that you have chosen to listen and make us part of your day. It would mean the world to us if you left a 5-star review. This helps us climb in the rankings, and it makes it easier for others to find us. Don't hesitate to leave us your comments as well. If the podcast didn't meet your expectations, tell us why. We're always striving to improve. You can find us at fermentedadventure.com. We are on Instagram and Facebook as Fermented Adventure. Email us at fermentedadventure@gmail.com. All right, FA Nation, let's meet our guest. He's Juan Carlos Gordillo. He's Micah McFarlane. I'm Rich Shane, and this is Fermented Adventure, the podcast. And today we get to speak about agave spirits, and we have Revel on the podcast. Micah and Juan Carlos, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
I am so excited. I said to you, I hope this doesn't end up being an 18-hour podcast interview, because you have so much to talk about, and there's so much I want to learn. And what I want to know is, how did Revel get started?
Well, 10 years ago, I was helping out a guy and that was starting a tequila company, and Matt Hector Ruiz in Minneapolis. And, he kind of challenged me to let's go down to my farms and distilleries. And we went down to his place, Hacienda Don Raul in Morelos, Mexico. And, there was a guy named Noe Avila, and Hector and Noe made this, beautiful juice. I kept going down and bringing it back to people in California and in Minnesota, tasting it and going, what do you think? What do you think? And then they go, what is this? And I said, well, it basically comes from, this place called Morelos. Never heard of it.
Right.
So, this story is so long. So I'm abbreviating the story.
That's why I said it's going to be 18 hours today.
I met a guy in a bar, and that's how it really, really got started. And then fast forward to meeting Hector and his families. He brought me down there. So the acceptance was that I wasn't a guy out there looking for a tequila. And the acceptance was I was a guy there helping Hector bring agave spirits to the United States. And so while down there and everything and deciding to do it, I got back here. I put a business plan together along with, my partner back then. Her name was Jackie, and another partner, Susan. The three of us and Hector and I put this business plan together. And I started going around, bringing juice in these little jars back from these guys and going around to some of my grade school friends and raising money for it.
Now, all this goes back to, I mean, you talk about the family. I mean, this is their family heritage. It's not just when you met them, but this goes back generations on the production of the spirit, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, Juan Carlos can speak to that, you know.
Yeah, you know, right now, all the agaveros that we have here in Morelos, they have a lot of history. You know, these agave, they have a lot of years, you know, they have Asian, they have a lot of techniques, you know, all techniques. Like right now, the difference, like our product is like a blend, you know, we use techniques from a lot of states that are really original in the agave, and we mix it here in Morelos. So all the history that this family they have, they pass from his father to grandfather to grandfather, you know. That's the beauty of this product, you know, because it's a family product.
In your marketing and as you communicate Revel, you say you're not a tequila, you're not a mezcal, you are an Avila. So talk about what sets an Avila apart and what makes that significant.
Okay, so here is Avila. Avila, and if you go on the agave spirits world, so you've got tequilas that are in 5 states and got to be made out of the Blue Weber, and at least 51% of that Blue Weber liquid has to be, that liquid has to be the Blue Weber, made out of the Blue Weber plant. You got mezcal, which is in 9 states. The main plant is the espadín, but there's 140 some varieties of agave, you know, and you got 9 states. Then you have Bacanara from Sonora, Mexico, and you have Sotol, which is actually the desert spoon plant from Chihuahua. So, and while I said all of that, is to define what is an Avila. Avilas can only come from the borders inside Morelos, Mexico. It could be made out of 4 different plants, which is the Blue Weber, the espadín, the Anxfolio How, and the Caprita.
Copriata.
I'm glad you said that, because that would have that's a lot to say.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really difficult work.
And with that, it all has to be 100% puro de agave, and with no additives, no sugars, nothing. And it's about the farmers and distillers. So the standard is set by us. Revel is the flagship. It's the first one to market. It's doing all the dirty work. It's getting out there. It's the education. So it is this look. The Morelos is the 2nd smallest state in Mexico, and it's right on the base of. Go ahead, Juan Carlos. The name of I say El Popo, but
we are really close from the Mexico City, you know, from 30 minutes. But one of the beauties that we have here in Morelos, and one of the essence that we have, is we're really close from El Volcano Popocatépetl. So we receive all the nutrients, we have all the minerals for the Popo.
So everything you just encapsulated in all that you said, it really comes down, Micah, to the territory, you know, the provenance. You know, you're almost a champagne kind of a situation.
You know what? That's a great way. That's a great analogy for anybody to get it. It's like champagne and Prosecco, or, you know, and what people are starting to understand about agave spirits is that all of it is agave spirits, or all of it's mezcal first, you know, and then there's tequila, you know. So, you know, all tequilas, mezcal is everything, but tequila can't be a mezcal. So, and I don't know if I said that right. People have to understand, or what we want them to understand, it is about the terroir. It's about the borders. It's regional specific. Now you got to understand it, that agave spirits, that plant, those plants are grown all over the world. And there's other people putting those plants into the marketplace besides Mexico. You know, Australia is coming on strong. They're going to be, you know, battling Mexico for denomination or the global in 10 years from now. You know, so it's Portugal, you know, South Africa. They're growing it. You know, I mean, you look at the equator and the temperatures are very ideal, and people are starting to grow agave in California. The hard part about it is just, the 7 or 4 or 5 or 8 or 15 years for different plants to mature and all that. That's when you take a bottle of vodka and you can make vodka in a bathtub. You know what I mean? And
I haven't tried that yet, but maybe that's next.
It's just really amazing. But yes, region specific, and the name comes from the master distiller's surname. His name is Noe Avila, and that's how this all got started.
Well, how did the name Revel come about?
Revel is my partner, or my ex-partner, and I were from the music business. And so she came up with, Revel in it, or let's celebrate. And we looked it up and go, that's kind of our lifestyle. We're in the, celebrity business, and, she worked for Prince, and, I worked for, like I said, Blondie and Cyndi Lauper and a few of those people. And it was just, our lifestyle, and we, so it means to celebrate, and to revel and to revel in life, I guess, and so that's what we did. And then the Avila thing came, and, like I said, Revel Avila is the first one to the marketplace, and El Popo is the next one that's coming. And we got one called Don Raul and Ixtapa, and there's a bunch of more coming. There's other people coming down now to make their Avilas. Yeah. So
what's this like, Juan Carlos? What's this like? You talk about reveling in it. And what's this like for you and your town and your community, that this is almost, as we talk about, this is that terroir, this is that provenance that really is produced only within your community, your area, your region. What's that mean to the community and the people that live there, and for you and your family?
Well, we are really proud, because we can share, to the world that Morelos, they have really good products, Like Micah said, Morelos is the second smallest state here in Mexico, We have a lot of things, but no one knows Morelos, They know, like, I don't know if you heard, we have some beef, salt beef they call cecina. That is really international, but that's it. No one knows that in Morelos we have agave. Right now, also the government in Morelos, they surprised that we have a lot of agave. And also, they were really surprised that we made this unique product, because when they taste it, they doesn't believe that we made it here in Morelos. So you can imagine that we are really proud, all the agaveros, the families, all the backup that we have with this product, all the people that we work, we are really proud to make this product.
So you're almost like the underdog in the agave spirit world, and nobody was paying attention.
Absolutely.
And here you come, and you've got your family who's been making this, this agave spirit for generations. And it takes somebody like Micah or other people coming down and saying, what is this? That's what we did. We met at Bar Convent in Brooklyn, and, there's so many things that we could taste and try. And then we come to your booth and we're like, wow, what is this? And it just blew us away. And we're going to taste through some of the expressions shortly. And I really want people now to go out and source you, find you, see what you're all about. But it's that up and comer that really makes you turn your head real fast.
Yeah, I know. Right now, one of the things that we are really proud is in 6 years that right now we're already really strong. We already have a fraction number. We export a product that is not a mezcal, and it doesn't have the idea of tequila. Because when you do an export, you have a fraction number, and when we export, they say, hey, what is this product? So we do a lot of things right now. We already put a position here in Mexico and also United States that they already recognize the brand of Revel and also the idea of Avila.
So, yes.
Go ahead, Micah.
No, he said it. Go ahead. So, yeah, the denomination of origin is that Avila is an agave spirit from Morelos that can be made out of the 4 plants. And it has to be at this high quality standard. So in order to make an agave spirits, you have to go through us to make so that we keep the standards, and it has to be in Morelos. And so people can come down and make, source from different farms, and we would help them if they want to make, their own Avila and put it into the marketplace. But there's a standard to it, that we control, but we're encouraging people that, if they have the fortitude and the dollars to get into the agave spirits business, we'd love to, help them make, here you go. And I'm going to say it. My farmers and distillers make the best agave spirits on the planet.
That's it. We should just end the podcast right there. While you're speaking about this, gentlemen, some things pop into my head. And one of the interesting things is, as you talk about, Micah, you being in the music business, in the music industry, it's almost like you're inventing a music genre, but you're giving it away. You're giving away the open source code as long as you follow this specific structure to what you create. Why wouldn't you just hoard all this and be the one to bring Avila and not give anybody else an opportunity?
Well, I think I'm trying to go with that saying, all boats, all
tides.
Yeah.
I get that messed up too. Yeah. All boats float all tides. I don't know.
Right. I think that it's when you talk about economics and stuff, it takes millions and millions and millions of dollars to create and build a brand and a category at the same time, and so with that being is other people coming in to do that, that means they have to spend money on marketing. They have their avenues and their ways of doing it. And once again, by opening it up, it brings it all back to the farmers and distillers. They get to make real money. And have you ever gone out to one of those fields? And have you taken a koa and try to do all that? And then to sit there, go there year after year after year and watch these little things like this grow into this thing. And then somebody says, oh, I'm going to pay you 40 cents for it after 7 years of working like that?
40 cents, yeah.
Yeah, I'm exaggerating on the 40 cents.
But what you're saying is, and what I hear you say is, you want to see those that have sweat and made their whole lives work. You want to make sure they're not taken advantage of. Absolutely. And you want to make sure that everything is promoted to the best opportunity. Number one, the spirit, the juice, the terroir, everything is amplified so it is raised to a high level and not, let's say, corrupted to just being flooded into the market. Yes?
That is absolutely correct. It's all about keeping a high standard, but getting it into the marketplace, get all the different styles of Avilas that can be out there, just like there's all these are 2,500 tequilas, or something like that, and there's 600, 700 mezcals.
Wait, 10 seconds went by. There are 18 more tequilas on the market now.
There you go. Exactly. So, and there's some really cool stuff in the tequila world, in the mezcal world, and Bacanar and Sotol, and there's enough room for everybody. There's, and I also believe in competition. That's the American way, or the world way. You got to compete for your market space and stuff like that. You got to, compete for your share of mind to the people, and being able to amplify, talk about the story, and long as we, just keep putting our truths out there, and people, and if we can, get liquid to lips, and once they taste it, we win,
right.
And that's what we just got, we got to get them to drink it. And they'll go, and so, because you can't explain it. You got it, it's got all the agave taste, but sometimes there's not the vanilla, or there's this or that, and and the word I get all the time is clean. I said, clean. What does clean taste like?
That's a good question. We're going to find out shortly. I love the buildup. Juan Carlos, I have a question. In my mind, as Mike is talking, really about helping to promote the community and those that have worked real hard. What was it like for you to grow up in Morelos and with your family and what they did for generations? What was that like for you to grow up in the community and your experience with the agave plants and making this Avila?
Well, when I started in Revel, I have no experience in the agave fields.
Really?
All my family have history here in the government. They're entrepreneurs, never goes to the farms, So when I meet Hector, they changed my mind, They convinced me to return because I was living in Minnesota. I'm a chef. I studied at culinary school. So
Which one?
In Barcelona.
Okay. You studied at culinary school in Barcelona.
Yeah. So I worked with Hector in Minnesota. So when they know that I was born in Cuernavaca, they convinced me with this project. So I get back here and I start working with Micah and Hector, and we start building this project, So right now, all my family, they are really surprised that me, working the farms. Right now, I already know all the process. I can distill, I can make a product, in back years, I never put my foot in the farms, So right now, I'm really proud, that I can explain anyone, how is the process to make an agave spirit,
That's so much fun. I would love to have been a fly on the wall, with you and talking to your family and everything else about this becoming, what you were looking to do. What were some of those aha moments for you guys where you realized you were onto something? Were there certain experiences, people you talked to? What were some of those aha moments?
I think I don't know,
Okay.
Juan Carlos, we've been in this fight, Juan Carlos has been in it for 6 years. Is it 6 years or 7?
Yeah, no, 6 years.
6 years, okay.
Yeah.
And then Hector and I have been in it for 4 years before that. I mean, it took us 2010, we incorporated Revel in 2012. And our first bottle got on the shelf in September of 2014 when I brought the first 1,200 bottles of Revel into California. And then Michael Johnson Brothers out of Minnesota, and I'm from Minnesota, and Hector's up there too. And then he became our first distributor, and basically, he said, Mike, you need to go out and learn. This is your hometown. You need to learn your communications. How are you going to sell this? What is it? Blah, blah, blah. I'll bring it in for you, but you guys are going to have to sell it, So basically Johnson Brothers, our distributor, was a truck. Okay.
It's always those humble beginnings though, right? You kind of curse them, but you love them at the same time.
Yeah. There was no sales force or anything. And, but now, Avila outsells all mezcals in Minnesota.
Wow. Yeah. All right. So that's where you planted your flag. And this is the growth point, California and everything else, right?
Yes. California. Yeah. We're in, I think I'd have to count them off. We're in California, Nevada. We're in North Dakota, Minnesota. We're just rolling out Missouri and Kansas right now. We're in Texas. We're in Tennessee. We are in New York, Massachusetts. We're rolling out Rhode Island and Connecticut, September 1. We're in New Jersey. Maryland, and DC. And this year's goals to get done are Florida and where else? It was Florida. We got Texas, Florida and Illinois.
Okay.
And then, then we'll concentrate on Florida, Illinois, and then also we want to get Mexico going, and start selling.
It's really fascinating to me that you're talking about your 10 years, your 12 years, this family recipe, this whole community, but this is so new to the world. And I love it. It took you you're like a 12-year overnight sensation, right?
Well, we haven't gotten to the sensation part yet.
Well, we're working on that, right?
We're still working on it.
Was the first one, I have here the Revel, this is the Blanco. Was this the first one that you introduced to the market?
Yes.
All right. Now, we talked about this bottle, and you've got these little jewels attached to the bottle. This is gorgeous. The design, it almost looks like a keystone. So it's really appealing to those people in Pennsylvania. So that works.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. But
talk about this bottle design as I pour myself a little bit, and we'll search for that crisp, clean flavor profile on there. Okay.
So like I said, my ex-partner, she had a lot to do with making or getting that bottle started and stuff. And the design, the logo came from some guys in Minnesota. And then the Terrible Twos helped us do all the packaging, the boxes and everything. And then my claim to fame on that bottle is getting our logo etched inside the crystal top there. Yeah, the
V.
Yeah, the
right? V. It's actually inside the stopper.
Right.
The V is in the middle.
It's in the middle. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's lasered in there. So that was, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
We talked about the cans, the ready to drink cocktails that you make.
Yes.
There's the boxes. The boxes are amazing. You're really getting an experience. You're not just going to buy an agave spirit off the shelf. You're looking to buy an experience, and I know everybody puts, I guess, value into the different expressions, right? So A white spirit for whiskey certainly wouldn't be as coveted as that 4-year, 6-year, 8-year, 10-year, 12-year barrel-aged, what have you.
Right.
But even you treat these with such care, and you demonstrate value in no matter what level you're buying. It's wonderful to see.
Thank you. We're like I said, we're super excited about, the thing is, it's like we did the packaging because we were a limited resource. We're trying to get everybody's attention, and we're from the music business, right? So the thing in the music business, if you have a band or an artist, you've got to get them looking great for the stage, right? But when the truth comes to the pudding, it's about the song.
Right.
It's about the song, no matter what. You can polish a turd and it'll be a turd. Sorry for those. And so with that being said, it's about the liquid. And I'll tell you, whether I was bringing those bottles back in the beginning in Pepsi bottles, right? And in my I have 2 suitcases, and I'd be going through customs, and they'd say, "Do you have any?" So I got a little agave spirit. It says, "Yeah, how much?" I look at both suitcases, and he goes, "Go ahead," And then it was, and these were like plastic, Pepsi bottles, of liquid.
Well, I think that was that aha that we talked about. That aha moment. You're toting, Pepsi bottles across the border, but when people taste the juice, that's when you say, "Wow, where do I get more? How do I get this? What is the next step for us to get it on the shelves and all those other things?" Right?
Yeah, and so and then that's where I came in with, from making records and business 101 from the music business. So a lot of that transferred that knowledge of the music business and packaging and getting something ready for market, transferred into this. So, like making a record, you go into the studio, like being a farmer, you grow your product, and then, you ferment it, like going into the studio and making that album. And once you get it there, then you got to package it, and then you got to present that package to market. And once you print that package to market, you got to get it distribute it, present the package to market.
And you have to get people to actually, now open the bottle and taste it. And then here's the key. And this is it's that repeat bottle, right?
Well,
it's not just one that, you can see behind me, we have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's only the tip of what we have. But what I'm saying to that is they're those repeat bottles, right?
Yes.
This becomes the favorite. You give them as gifts. You buy it again. You run out, all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, John Paul, the guy that the Patron guy, he said, I don't think maybe, but he said something. I'm going to paraphrase because I'm not going to quote him. But basically, he said that it's easy to get bottle 1 onto the shelf.
Right.
It's bottle 2 is the hard one. Will they go back and get it? And the only way they're going to go back and get it is if it tastes good.
Well, let's talk about the song. Now, while you were speaking about that experience, I was enjoying the nose and some things that come out, and you both can speak to the profile or what is intended. What's the distiller looking for when they put this into the bottle? I got, so much of that agave nectar that you want to have, the sweetness there. There's a minerality to it. Also, I get a salinity, a salt nose to it. There's citrus. There's a lot of things going on. Talk about the characteristics, and you talked about the terroir, the provenance of this Avila. What are some of those consistent characteristics that people should find with this spirit?
Juan Carlos.
Well, the idea is when you taste this product, it's an example. You can see we want to represent, in every sip, all our work, So when you taste the Blanco, you can see really clear. It's a triple distill, They can taste all the agave because we don't blend with anything that 100% agave, Also, we use as a filtration system that we create here in Morelos. No one knows our recipe without all these filters that we use. That's the reason you can see a really clear product. You can have a really good and a strong bouquet, one of our characteristics on an Avila. So when you taste from an Avila, from Blanco, from Reposado, and Añejo, you can see all the history that we have. Every product that we make, they're going to have the same characteristic, the same quality. We try to have all the same quality because this product is a blend of artisanal, with industrial. It's a blend of steam with roasted. Well, smoke.
As you're kind of speaking through that, I get this oily vanilla on the palate. I get a little bit of melon. I get a little bit of, I know it's not barrel aged, but I get some sort of a charcoal element to it. Not in the flavor, but in the smokiness of it. There's so much. You can just sit here. This is wonderful sipping. We have your ready to drink cocktails, your Avila cocktails. So I'm really excited to try through those. But this makes a great spirit to mix cocktails out of. But you could just sip this all by itself.
Absolutely, and that's the quality of it, And but it also makes great cocktails, So, and I'm the believer that if you put horrible ingredients in a cocktail, you're going to get a horrible cocktail.
Let me ask you, I know it's 80 proof. I think that marries well at that proof point. I'm always curious as to see what it would be like. And I think the proof, if you make it higher, it's really going to overwhelm a lot of those characteristics, the elements of what you're getting from the plant. Is that the same thought process?
That is the thought process with the Blanco and the Reposado, is drinkability. But we were able, because of the French oak barrel, we went higher heat on that, 8% more, up at 48%. And even with that higher heat, the character of what it is coming off of the barrel, and it's aged 24 months in French oak barrels.
Now, this is the Reposado that we're talking about now. This is the one I just poured, right?
So, yes. And the Reposado is aged 12 months in American white oak whiskey barrels that are used one time.
And can you say where the barrels are coming from? Are they proprietary? Any kind of secrets on that?
Really no secrets.
It's a secret.
We made it in Minnesota, and also we have here in Mexico.
Yeah.
So are the barrels coming from a distiller in Minnesota?
Yeah, and also here in Mexico, in Guadalajara, and also in Ensenada.
See, I think you're talking about a product that you're giving back to this Minnesota, the community. It's a state, but you're really giving back to Morelos and the communities of Minnesota that are still working to put their footprint in the distilled spirits world.
Yes. I mean, Minnesota is, Hector and ours, both our homes. And it's been just, and then the other thing too is the most Morelos Mexicans that are in the United States are in Illinois and Minnesota.
Okay. So it's their second home. It's their home away from home.
Minnesota and or Minneapolis and Cuernavaca are sister cities. So that's one of those things people don't know.
I am loving the nose on this, and
isn't that beautiful?
In a lot of cases, it's wonderful how the agave, the Avila, works so well and plays so well with that barrel.
Yes,
and they both amplify. It's amazing how with that Blanco, you got so much of that juice in the nose, and this one kind of transforms, and that barrel just really it's such a wonderful soft note of barrel. Right. And again, this is at 80 proof, and I think that's exactly where it should be.
Right. And both the Blanco, the Reposado, and the Añejo, won numerous awards. It was in 2019, I believe, the Reposado of the Year at the New York Spirits Award.
I'm speechless right now because I'm enjoying this. You know what's interesting about this? How much more of the proof I think comes out on the finish than on the Blanco. That I guess that's the barrel now. It's a spicier. You get more cinnamon, more baking spice, a little pepper note to this. So when you were bringing the Blanco to the market, how long afterwards was it that this next expression came about?
Well, we brought them both at the same time.
Okay.
It took us so many years to get to market. We had everything ready by the time, we got there. We were able to bring all three, because we had been working that many years ahead of time, to bring all three of them in. Yeah.
So you mentioned this next expression's the 96, right?
Yeah. So 48% alcohol, 96 proof. I was tasting that while you were speaking, and in listening to in my head, I'm thinking this would make a great Avila Old Fashioned. We have the Avila Old Fashioned on a bunch of menus throughout the United States and different bars.
And you use that on the Añejo, right?
On the Reposado.
Reposado.
And on the Añejo, people have been making a Manhattan.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Because that's what like I said, with that Reposado, that Old Fashioned, I get all that I was really feeling I was missing on that was just maybe a little bit of bitters. I mean, right out of the bottle, a little bitters and a little orange peel, or see how it would work with a little lime or something like that. How do you guys make it?
The Old Fashioned, just kind of I like the one with the orange, doing it that way, orange and some bitters and stuff, So this is really a complex. It's got so much character, and it's you taste it.
I get cherry. I mean, I'm just nosing it, and each one is just a wonderful experience just to nose. I get more cherry out of this, or a lot more sweetness, and that's probably what's coming out of that barrel experience. It's wonderful to see how the juice plays with the barrel, and the nuances and characteristics that really come out. I think that's why we're going to need more time, because I'm just going to sit here nosing this and just you guys can stare at the screen. I feel bad. It's early for you. You should be drinking along with me. Now talk about this and the development of this añejo.
Well, our añejo is like the crown jewel, for the Revels, because it's I want to tell you like example when we have some tastings here in Mexico and also in Minnesota with Hector. A lot of people, not people, the girls, they doesn't like a lot of the añejo, because it's a really more strong. They have more the notes like a cognac. So when they try it and they doesn't like, or they spit it, we say, hey, you are spitted at 10 years of my work, because this product, the añejo, they took us 10 years to make this small juice. It took us 10 years. So you can see the difference of our Reposado and also of the Blanco. When you open the añejo, you can feel a strong bouquet, for the vanilla, the caramel, the woods of the French oak. So for me, the añejo is one of my best product that we have, I love the añejo.
What I would say about this is, and I really enjoy, and I say this in respect, that this is a bourbon's drinker agave spirit. I would challenge that if you could put this in a blind tasting, that I don't know if people would say, well, this is an agave spirit. I think that they would be very surprised, and most would say this is a bourbon.
Okay.
Do you get that response? Do you get people that have that perspective?
I get the bourbon, but I get the cognac response also.
Yeah.
Is that because of the dryness and the finish that the cognac experience? See, I don't get that overwhelming. I've had that cognac or that even the whiskey cognac finish, and there's not that overwhelmingly Sahara Desert dryness that comes out at the end.
Right. But with the añejo, all the different little characters that come out of it, and I think that higher proof on that one accents that, so. Is that El Popo that you got there?
Yeah.
All right.
Talk about El Popo.
Well, El Popo, read the back of that, right? And we have a rock star of a maestra female distiller. Her name is Karen Hernandez. She's 24 years old. She's 24 or 25 now?
Right now they are 25. Nuestra maestra Avilera.
Yeah, and we are so proud of her. And, with Juan Carlos's supervision and Hector's supervision and her science, her based in science and stuff is just amazing. And she's, making these, really amazing products. So my goal is, when El Popo is coming to market right now, is to really, really highlight her and her accomplishments, and we're just super excited about it. And it's because it's, this product is like 80% roasted, like I'm going to use roasted like a mezcal, and 20% like a tequila. It leans, a little bit smokier, and plus we double distilled it instead of triple. And but it is made out of the Blue Weber, and stuff. So it has it has a sweetness to it.
It's a sweet smokiness on the nose. It's just such
it's approachable though. It's
amazingly so.
Yeah. So
it's because this product is 100% artisanal. All the process and also the roasted and also the hima is artisanal.
There's even an herbaceousness that kind of comes in between the sweetness and the smokiness. And it's, I want to say minty or spearmint in a little bit of a way. but it's when we had this at Bar Convent, I said, wow, this is unlike anything I've ever had. And it sounds to me like this is one of those special allocation bottles, right? Is this a limited release, or is this something that you're going to try to, is the flavor profile going to change as you pull different barrels or different methods or anything else?
No, it's only going to have a reposado that is going to be like a 9-month reposado, and that's it. There won't be an añejo made out of this, so it'll be just those two, a blanco and a reposado. We will get it out there as far as the public will let us do it, we're excited about it. That's getting another Avila into the marketplace. And then like I said, other people are going to be making theirs also.
To me, this is a spirit unlike itself. And I think that's what you're trying to communicate. This is so unique. I even get a little bit of an absinthe quality to this, a licorice note to this.
Yep. Yeah.
There's so much. It's in such a wonderful bottle, wonderful label. I think that while I would want to always sip this on my own, my mind is saying, all right, what can I do? How much of a experience could I have making this as a cocktail? I don't know how far I'd like to go with that. Yeah.
That's, we're going to get it out into the marketplace. We're going to, start out, really small and just grow it, tell the story, tell Karen's story, Hacienda Don Raul, where it comes from. And, the people we've got, we're always documenting all the things that we're doing and we're going to just keep growing. Can you show the packaging?
Oh, we're going to take pictures. Absolutely. We'll have those on our website and everything else.
That is absolutely.
You've got the volcano label. I would mess it up if I said the Popocatépetl, right? How'd I do? Peptel?
It's really difficult, but yeah. No, it's Popocatépetl.
Okay, Popocatépetl. Oh, so it's almost like Popocatépetl.
Yeah.
All right, that's great. All right, you give a nice story, as you said on the back, and you explain, as how it's produced and the cooking method and the elevation. This is a treat. This is a treat. All these spirits are unique. I think if you're really seeking out, if you're a bourbon drinker, if you're a whiskey drinker, vodka, gin, you want to complete your bar. If you don't have this Avila, you're not completing your bar. Is that fair to say?
I think that's very fair to say.
And if you're a bar and you don't have this on your bar, your patrons are missing out.
That's true. Like I said, if we can get the liquids to the lips, and what basically that you just did, and is telling our story. You're like going, wow. You went through all the Revels and the quality is like amazing, right? And then you go to our second product and, nothing against Revel, but the quality is amazing again, So everything we're doing, the one thing that we will not is cheapen our products, and for the sake of money. And what'll happen is that everybody, will make these very high quality. These people have worked so hard, and we, us on this side of the border and around the world that work for Revel, we work hard. We're out there working. It's to as hard as the farmers and distillers work on that side, we on the administration and building and creating a movement, the Avila movement, and being able to amplify our story and being out there. Everybody works hard. So we're all really proud of what we're doing.
I'm appreciative of all the hard work you guys have done to get it to where it is. And I'm excited because I think, Micah, you mentioned even a couple other products that are going to be released, or a number of other distillers that may be releasing things out of the Avila, terroir area, the provenance or the territory. I think this is, as a consumer of spirits and being on the forefront of this, it's just another way of being blessed by what families and generations have done to be discovered, and now we get to enjoy all their labor and hard work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with you.
Is there anything we spend a lot of time together? I'm grateful for your time today. I'm grateful that, to share the spirit with you. Is there anything we haven't talked about on the podcast today that you want to let people know about?
I want to let them know about our RTDs and the reason behind doing the RTD, the ready to drink. Now, first of all, I have a business partner who he's on a TV show called This Is Us. Justin Hartley. So Justin Hartley and our general manager, Rennie West, spent countless hours and making focus groups and driving our flavor house in Anaheim crazy on all the different things about our RTDs. One of the things that I stress about our RTD, is that as the quality of that bottle of Blanco that you have, that is the same liquid going into those cans. So it is made out of that. And that's what, when you open up the package, there was a little coaster on top that said, did you see it? A little coaster?
Yeah. I mean, that's why I said your packaging is first rate. I mean, it's even if you thought it through and said, all right, we're not just going to put these in a box. We're going to put them in a nice package, and we're going to have a coaster for you so that the
coaster tells a story.
Yeah.
It tells you that this is a little arrow that says this is made out of this bottle, this liquid. So if you go, oh, I'm going to go get the tequila this. Where's the tequila coming from? Okay. Is it 100% Blue Weber? What are they throwing in there? We're telling you that this is what it is. And this is the quality of it.
Because you're proud. And
we're very proud.
You said, that quality, if you start with a quality product, if you make a good cocktail, you make it out of good spirit. You make a great cocktail, you make it out of a great spirit. Right. And your box provides an assortment. You've got the grapefruit rosemary, the watermelon cucumber cilantro, the mango Fresno chili, guava toasted coconut kefir lime. I mean, everything in the kitchen sink is in that one. Right? These are 12-ounce cans. They are 6% ABV, alcohol by volume. And they're gluten-free, which is nice for those that want to be gluten-free. Right. What I get a sense is, and we haven't opened these and we'll definitely enjoy them on a different opportunity. You're not making a seltzer. You're making a cocktail.
We're making a cocktail. That's a sparkling cocktail, you know? And, the thing with it is that we trying to, and amplifying by doing the RTD is another way of amplifying our story. It's another way where if, the guy or girl goes in and they go, I really don't drink hard liquor, but I like this on a boat, drinking outdoors or whatever. But it's another way to tell our story. It's tell the Revel Avila's story, amplifying the message. I can get some of these into grocery stores or whatever throughout. And then that drives them back to find out the story and gets them back to the bottle and, buying the bottle. So it's kind of both, it's marketing and, but it's a way of just telling our story and just, keep getting, liquid to the lips. And then once why
don't you have that on a shirt somewhere for Revel, liquid to the lips or something? I know you have all kinds of other stuff.
That's a good idea.
All right.
I like that. But and when you drink these, I'm not going to talk about anybody else's products, but once again, my farmers and distillers make the best agave spirits on the planet, and now Revel Spirits makes the best canned cocktails on the planet also. So if people out there, if you taste our RTDs, you will be blown away. And they're and now it sounds like I'm just a promoter, but
well, you're in the music business, right?
Yeah.
But this has been your baby when I say baby, as you discovered and met with the family and the producers, this
Absolutely.
has been it's almost like a lifelong passion project for you that you're really seeing, that come to fruition. You said, you're growing in so many states. Can people find the RTDs along with the Avila in the same places in the same states? Is that the next plan?
That is the plan. I mean, the RTDs are in California, and they're booming in Minnesota already. So and in Tennessee right now, and then now they're starting to, we're getting all the different approvals and all that stuff, and so we're rolling them out. Yeah, and so you'll see them in New Jersey, I would say by September.
So Juan Carlos.
Yeah.
All this that has come to fruition. You used to be a chef, or are you still a chef? Are you still cooking every day?
No,
you're done.
No, I'm
for his 2 kids.
Okay.
I have 2 kids, but no, part of my day, I'm going to check all the lands that we have, trying to convince the agaveros that we have, because right now we create an association here in Morelos that we invited, because every year we try to farm 100 hectares of agave, because you know that we have a long process, 7 years. They took us to have a really good piña we can harvest. So part of my day, I'm in the distilleries, in the agave fields, working with the government, checking all the quality, doing the export, the imports, everything. So
keep them busy.
If people come to the distillery, is there a tasting room or somewhere they can experience what you're making, or now you might have a flock of people showing up at the door?
Yeah, when we invited to Destilería Don Raúl, that is in Ijonacatepec, is one of the distilleries that we use for create the products. We have a tasting room. We can show the ovens, the artisanal ovens. So we have the alambics. Right now, we already start building all the facility bottling, because we try to have all the certification. We have the certification with the FDA, Global Market, Global GAP. So we try every time have all the certification, so we can show to the people that we are gonna give it a really good and healthy product.
What I get to do is, after we speak, I get to edit this. So I get to hear this again. This has been an education for me. It's been an experience for me. And for those that are just being introduced to the agave world, right, or those that have that knowledge but have never heard of Avila, listen to this a few times, because you're going to learn a lot. You may miss stuff. There's so much that you gentlemen shared, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. I am grateful for your time today. I appreciate Revel and all that you're doing. I can't wait to see more. I can't wait to see it on the shelves in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, because you said that's, kind of working together, but it's still growing. And when we walk into a bar and then we see this on the shelves, we go, cool, they're getting it, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, when I walk into a bar and see it on the shelf, and the other part is when I walk into a bar and I don't see it on the shelf. That's more heartbreaking. I'm like, well,
that's funny, because that's what we do. I mean, you become a friend of Fermented Adventure, and it's part of our family too. And that's where we go. That's where we go into the bar and say, hey, I see you have this whole selection of tequilas or mezcals. What about Revel? And do you know about Avila? Now I can, share that, right, because I've had this experience. I want others to share this experience like you have done over the course of many years to bring this to market. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for your time. I can't wait. Again, I can't wait to see more of what's coming on. And thanks guys for joining me on the podcast today.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And like I said, Morelos, second smallest state, and the farmers and distillers make the best agave spirit on the planet. So,
mic drop.
Thank you.